Story time on how I caught both of my best friends cheating on me with my boyfriend. Yes, both of them. So at the time, I was entering college, and one of my best friends went to the same school as me. My other best friend went to the same school as my boyfriend. And our schools were close. We were only like 10 minutes away from each other. Homecoming is when things started to get fishy. I asked my boyfriend if he wanted to come out to our homecoming games, and he said that he was busy. Then, of course, I asked my best friend, but she said she had cheerleading practices because she was trying to become a cheerleader. I don't know, they just always seem busy doing something around the same time. So then the holiday comes up and I visit my boyfriend's family for Christmas. I don't know, something in me just told me to look at his phone, and he was talking to my best friend, the one he went to school with, and the conversation was just too flirty. So I talked to my other best friend about it that I went to the same school with, and she was like, oh, I always knew something was weird about them too. I, of course, confronted my boyfriend about it, and he said nothing was going on. So I decided to play reverse psychology on my best friend. Come back for part 2. Part 2 on how I caught my boyfriend cheating on me with 2 of my best friends. Like I said, I confronted my boyfriend about it, and he pretended there was nothing going wrong. So I went to my best friend about it, and I kind of did like a reverse psychology thing on her. I told her that my boyfriend told me everything that was going on. And I was like, did y'all even use protection? Not really knowing what's really going on. And she was like, I'm sorry, it was only a one-time thing. And that she was just drunk one night. And I was like, sis, you practically told on yourself because I was joking. And then she kind of like snitched on my other best friend. She was like, I wasn't the only one, you know. And of course I was like, what you mean? And she said a couple months back when we were in high school that my other best friend had slept with him also. The whole situation was just messy. I ended up cutting off my whole circle. And later on that freshman year, my ex-boyfriend started dating my ex-best friend.
Never cheated on me, but he did do this weird thing where he would let me know anytime other women hit on him. Like, he'd go out of his way to be like, oh babe, I just want to let you know, girl at Starbucks tried to give me her number. So, and I'm like, cool. What do you want me to say to that? You want me to fist bump you? Like, nice, bro. Get it. Like, you want me to get jealous, turn into Batman? Like, where is she? Like, what? And he's like, no, I'm trying to be honest with you because I love you. That's what I'm doing. I'm being honest with you. And I'm like, no, you're not. You want me to know that you turned down the option of other people today. You want points for not cheating on me. Like I'm supposed to swoon or something. Like, oh my God, babe. You honored the most basic term of our agreement? I'm so lucky. This is like a fairy tale.
Does anyone else have a friend that just like doesn't like you?
So my ex-best friend of 8 years was like this, but literally times 1,000. She straight up did not like people giving me compliments, and anytime somebody did, she would like hijack it and turn it into a compliment for herself or turn it into an insult for me. So for example, if somebody said to me, oh, you look really nice today, she'd be like, yeah, but it's all makeup. Have you seen her without makeup? Things like that. Or if somebody were to say like, oh, your hair looks really nice today, she'd be like, yeah, but it's a wig. And she wears those wigs so she can look more like me because my hair's naturally long. Like, what? So one time I was at her house trying on outfits and I tried on this like cute little shirt. And she was like, no, you're not wearing that out. Like, you look like you're in school uniform. That is not cute. Take it off. So tell me why next time I was at her house, I saw an identical shirt in her closet, brand new with tags that she'd gone out and bought after seeing me in the shirt and telling me that she hated it. One time there was a group of us just hanging out in her kitchen and she looks at me and completely unprovoked, completely off topic, she says, you know, if it wasn't for your face, you probably could have been a model. What? A couple of years ago, I got a job interview at the Tom Ford beauty counter and I put it on the group chat and told everyone I was so excited, like I've been looking for a job for so long, and her response, she was the first one to reply and she said, wait, don't you actually have to be good at makeup to work at Tom Ford though? So yeah, I just learned to stop telling her good news about my life after that. The saddest part is that this isn't even the half of it. Like, I could honestly probably make a 10-part series on all the messed up things she would say to me because this went on for years. Like, it was so bad.
I wish I could sometimes only remember the good things in my relationship with my parents, but the bad memories generally have a stronger emotional grip. I remember reading a children's book about these girls dressing up, going on a picnic outside for afternoon tea. In the illustration, they had pastries and bread in a basket and porcelain teacups painted with floral patterns. I was probably in the 5th grade, and I knew my mom had really pretty teacups in the cupboard that she had saved for special occasions. So I shut my book, ran up to my mom to ask if she wanted to have afternoon tea with me, and she said yes. I was so young that I didn't tell her what I really wanted was the whole afternoon tea experience that I saw inside the book. But I was so excited that she agreed to make us tea that I went ahead and dressed up in my favorite white dress, put a ribbon in my hair, and came downstairs to meet her. She turned to me, looked me up and down in confusion, and essentially called me pathetic for dressing up. I remember running back upstairs in tears, ripping the ribbon out of my hair and staring at my bloodshot eyes in the mirror, repeating, "You're so dumb. What were you even thinking?" The memory of her hunched over the dining table with her mug of tea, unaware of how her words burned through her daughter's excitement, is still so clear to me to this day. So now, I happen to marry a man who loves collecting tea paraphernalia with me. For dates, we have afternoon tea in form of picnics in the park with fruit, butter, bread, and pastries. And I always dress up, one step at a time, healing that inner child that just wanted to have a fancy tea party. My parents used to say that if you watch how a child holds their chopsticks, you can predict if they'll end up staying closer or farther away from you when they're older. I remember holding my wooden chopsticks at dinner one time when I was in elementary school, and my mom smiled at my dad, pointing at how close the front of my grasp was. She felt like it was a sign that one day I'd live close to them. Little did they know that they were going to be so wrong. I've lived in the US for the past 10 years, and my parents have stayed in Asia. At first, the taste of freedom and independence from a sheltered lifestyle was exhilarating. I discovered my identity in adulthood without parental restrictions or judgment. But when I returned home for my grandmother's funeral, I noticed how much my parents had physically aged in a year. I instantly felt so much guilt because while I was focused on growing my life here, I forgot that my parents were growing older there. Part of growing up for me was learning that my parents have completely separate lives, and that even through our previously turbulent relationship, I will always feel the responsibility of taking care of them